stop. Before you drag that sad, brown, crispy hydrangea to the compost pile, I need you to look at it one more time. Because what you are calling dead is almost never actually dead. That plant you have already given up on, 9 times out of 10 it is not dead at all. It is just starving, thirsty, and screaming for help in the only way it knows how, by dropping every leaf and going limp. And here's the part nobody tells you. You do not need to buy a single bottle of expensive fertilizer to bring it roaring back. Everything you need is probably sitting in your kitchen, your fridge, or your backyard right now. So, over the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through 5 natural fertilizers that work so fast you will see a difference in days, not months. I am giving you the exact mixes, the exact amounts, and the exact way to apply each one. So your hydrangea does not just limp back to life, it explodes with new growth and blooms bigger than you have ever seen. And stick with me to the end, because the 5th one is the secret season gardeners swear by, and almost nobody uses it correctly. Let's bring your hydrangea back from the dead. But before you feed it anything, you have to know whether there is still life inside that plant. Otherwise, you are just feeding a stick. So here's the test. Walk over to your hydrangea, pick one of the main stems, and gently scratch the surface of the bark with your thumbnail. Just a light scrape. If you see green underneath, even the faintest hint of pale green, congratulations. Your plant is alive and all of this is about to pay off. If the stem snaps dry and brittle and it is brown all the way through, do not give up yet. Move down lower toward the base and scratch again. Hydrangeas die from the top down, so the lower stems and the crown near the soil are usually the last part to go. As long as you find green somewhere, you are in business. Now here is why your hydrangea collapsed in the first place. It is almost always one of 3 things. It dried out completely during a hot stretch. The soil simply ran out of nutrients, or the roots got cooked by too much harsh chemical feed. The good news is that all 3 of those problems respond beautifully to gentle, natural feeding. So, let's get into it. Number 1. The banana peel potassium bomb. If your hydrangea is alive but flatly refuses to bloom, or the few blooms it does push out are small and pathetic, it is almost certainly crying out for potassium. Potassium is the nutrient in charge of flower production and overall plant strength, and banana peels are absolutely loaded with it. But here's where most people get it wrong. They bury a whole banana peel next to the plant, walk away, and then wonder why nothing happens for 2 months. A buried peel takes forever to break down, which means all that potassium stays locked up and useless to a plant that needs help right now. So here's what you do instead. Take 2 or 3 banana peels, chop them up roughly, and drop them into a jar with about a liter of water. Let that sit for 48 hours. What you are making is a fast-acting banana tea, and within 2 days that water turns into a potassium, rich liquid that your plant's roots can drink up almost immediately. After those 2 days, dilute the banana water with an equal amount of plain water, so 1 part banana tea to 1 part fresh water, and pour it slowly around the base of your hydrangea right over the root zone. Do this once a week, and within about 10 days, you will start to see the stems firming up and new buds beginning to form. And do not throw those soggy peels away afterward. Chop them up fine and work them lightly into the top inch of soil so they keep feeding the plant as they rot down. Nothing wasted. Number 2. Used coffee grounds for a nitrogen kickstart. Now, if your hydrangea's problem is more about the leaves, pale, yellowing, sparse foliage that just will not fill out, then nitrogen is what is missing, and used coffee grounds are your answer. But pay close attention here, because this is exactly where people accidentally hurt their plants instead of helping them. Fresh coffee grounds are far too acidic and too strong to dump straight onto a weak plant. You have to use grounds that have already been brewed, and you have to use them the right way. Here is the method. Take your used coffee grounds, about 2 good handfuls for a medium hydrangea, and first let them dry out for a day so they do not clump into a moldy mat. Then sprinkle them in a thin, even layer across the soil around the base of the plant, keeping them a couple of inches away from the main stems so you do not burn the crown. Once they are down, scratch them gently into the top layer of soil with your fingers or a little fork, and then water it in thoroughly. As the grounds break down, they slowly release nitrogen, and they do something else wonderful too. They improve the texture of your soil, and they attract earthworms, which aerate the roots and help the plant absorb everything better. For a hydrangea stuck in tired, compacted dirt, that alone is a game changer. And here's a bonus most people never realize. Coffee grounds nudge your soil gently toward the acidic side. And for a blue hydrangea, acidic soil is exactly what keeps those blooms a vivid blue instead of fading to a muddy purple. So you are feeding and color correcting at the same time. Apply this once every 2 weeks, no more, because too much nitrogen gives you a bush full of leaves and no flowers. Number 3, the Eggshell and Epsom Salt Reviver. This is the combination I get asked about the most, and it is the one that genuinely brings a stressed hydrangea back to life faster than almost anything else, because we are using 2 kitchen leftovers to fix 2 problems at once. First, the eggshells. Eggshells are almost pure calcium, and calcium is what builds strong cell walls inside your plant. A hydrangea that has been through drought or root shock often has weak, floppy stems, and that is usually a calcium shortage. So save up 5 or 6 eggshells, rinse them, let them dry completely, and then crush them as finely as you possibly can. The finer you grind them, the faster that calcium becomes available. Big chunky bits take ages to break down, so get them down to almost a powder if you can. Now the Epsom salt. Epsom salt is magnesium sulfate, and magnesium is the central building block of chlorophyll, the thing that literally makes leaves green and able to photosynthesize. A magnesium-starved hydrangea shows yellowing between the leaf veins while the veins themselves stay green. If that sounds like your plant, this is the fix. Here is how you bring them together. Dissolve 1 tablespoon of Epsom salt into about a liter of water and stir until it has completely dissolved. Sprinkle your crushed eggshell powder around the base of the plant first, work it lightly into the soil, and then pour the Epsom salt solution right over the top. The water carries the magnesium straight down to the roots, while the eggshells slowly release their calcium over the following weeks. Do this once a month, and I really do mean once a month, no more, because some salt is potent, and overusing it throws your whole soil balance off. But that 1 monthly treatment will green up the leaves and stiffen up the stems in a way that honestly looks like the plant came back from the dead. Number 4, rice water. This is the one that is going to make you a little bit angry, because you have almost certainly been pouring it down the drain your entire life. Every single time you rinse or cook rice, that cloudy, starchy water you tip away is packed with the exact nutrients your hydrangea is desperate for. That milky water carries traces of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, plus a load of beneficial starches that feed the microorganisms living in your soil. And it is those microorganisms, the invisible bacteria and fungi around the roots, that do the real work of converting nutrients into a form your plant can actually drink up. Feed the soil life, and the soil life feeds your hydrangea. That is the whole secret. Here is exactly how to do it right. When you wash your rice before cooking, do not pour that first rinse water down the sink. Catch it in a bowl. If you want to supercharge it, let it sit and ferment at room temperature for about a day, which multiplies all those helpful microbes. But even fresh, unfermented rice water works beautifully. One important warning though, if you are using the water you actually cooked the rice in, rather than the rinse water, make absolutely sure it has cooled completely, and that you did not add any salt. Salt is poison to a hydrangea's roots, so this only works with plain, unsalted rice water. Pour it around the base of the plant about once a week in place of a normal watering. Within a couple of weeks, you will notice the soil looking richer and darker, the plant perking up, and fresh new shoots pushing out. It costs you absolutely nothing, and it is one of the gentlest, most reliable revivers there is, which makes it perfect for a plant too weak to handle anything stronger. Number 5, wood ash used the right way. Here it is, the 5th one, and the reason I told you to stick around. Wood ash, that soft gray powder left behind after you burn clean, untreated wood, is one of the most powerful natural fertilizers on the planet, and almost everybody either ignores it completely or uses it so carelessly that they end up killing the plant. I am going to show you how to do it right. Wood ash is extraordinarily rich in potassium and calcium, plus a whole spread of trace minerals like phosphorus and magnesium. For a hydrangea that needs a serious, fast jolt of blooming power, nothing in your backyard comes close. A small dose can wake up a tired plant and trigger a flush of buds almost overnight. And this part is enormous. Wood ash is strongly alkaline. It raises your soils fast. That makes it a brilliant tool, but a dangerous one if you are careless. And it is the exact reason this is the secret almost nobody uses correctly. You have to use it in tiny amounts, and you have to understand what it does to your flower color. So here is the right way. Take just a single tablespoon of cooled wood ash for a medium hydrangea. Sprinkle it thinly and evenly across the soil around the plant. Never pile it in one spot and never let it touch the stems directly. And then water it in gently so it dissolves down into the root zone. Do this no more than once a month, and honestly, once at the very start of the growing season is often plenty. Now here's the critical color note. Because wood ash makes soil alkaline, it will push a pink hydrangea to an even more vivid pink, which is fantastic if that is what you want. But if you have a blue hydrangea, wood ash will fade that blue toward pink or a muddy purple because blue blooms need acidic soil. So if blue is your goal, skip the ash completely and lean on your coffee grounds and banana tea instead. Match the tool to the plant, and you will get exactly the color you are after along with the revival. Used with a bit of respect, a pinch of wood ash is the closest thing to a free miracle fertilizer you will ever find. Now, do not go dumping all 5 of these on your poor plant at once. That would overwhelm it and do far more harm than good. A revival is about steady, gentle feeding, not one dramatic rescue. So here's how I would structure it. Start the very first week with rice water and banana tea because those two are the gentlest, and they get the roots drinking and the soil microbes waking up. Give it a week. In the second week, bring in the coffee grounds for that nitrogen push to fill the leaves back out. Then around the start of the next month, do your Eggshell and Epsom salt treatment to strengthen the stems and green up the foliage. And save the wood ash for a single, careful application right when you want to trigger that big flush of blooms, keeping in mind the color rules I just gave you. And through all of it, the one thing you cannot neglect is consistent, deep watering. The best fertilizer in the world cannot travel through bone-dry soil, so water deeply at the base, let the top inch dry out between waterings, and keep the plant out of harsh afternoon sun while it is recovering. Within 3 to 4 weeks of following this rhythm, that hydrangea you were ready to throw out will be pushing fresh green growth, and not long after that, it will reward you with blooms. So there you have it, 5 completely natural fertilizers, all sitting in your kitchen right now, that can pull a hydrangea back from what looks like certain death. Banana tea for the blooms, coffee grounds for the leaves, eggshells and Epsom salt for strength and green, rice water to feed the soil itself, and a careful pinch of wood ash as your secret weapon. Now I actually want you to go and do this. Walk outside today, do the scratch test on that dead-looking hydrangea, and start with the rice water and banana tea this week. Then come back and tell me in the comments which one worked the fastest for you. And if this helped you look at your garden a little differently, do me one quick favor and hit subscribe, because here at BloomProof, that is exactly what we do. We take the plants everyone has written off and show you that they were only ever misunderstood. So go and save that plant. It is not dead yet, and neither is your garden. Until next time, get out there, get your hands dirty, and grow something that lasts.